One guard, 6'6", from Tennessee, number 20, Allen Houston. The other guard, 6'2", from Florida State, number 21, Charlie Ward. And at center, 6'11", from Yale, number 14, Chris Dudley. Head coach for New York, Jeff Van Gundy.
Someone else.
Y'all ready for this?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, off your seat and on your feet, introducing the Western Conference champion, San Antonio Spurs. Starting at one forward, 7 foot from Wake Forest University, number 21, Tim Duncan. The other forward, 6'8", from Arizona, number 32, Sean Elliott. From Southern University, number 6, the little big man, A.J. Avery Johnson. The underguard, 6'5", from American International, number 17, Mario Lally. And a man in the middle, 7'1" center from the U.S. Naval Academy, number 50, the Admiral, David Robinson. Head coach for the Spurs, Greg Popovich.
This will not be the biggest crowd in NBA Finals history. They put more than 40,000 into the Silverdome for the Pistons and Lakers in the late 80s, but this will be way up there, something close to 40,000, ready to roar. Let's check with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bob. The San Antonio Spurs have been playing so well the last month or so. They've only played 4 games in 24 days, so it brings you to think, are they rusty? Well, I talked to Avery Johnson about it. Avery says that what they've done is they've had game-type scrimmages every other day with conditioning being done the odd day. He said that it's nothing like playing in a real game, but that's the best that they could do. He said the big contribution came from Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr told everybody exactly what the Chicago Bulls did in that situation, what their mindset was. Avery said that has worked, and he feels like they're ready to go. Now for the Knicks side of it, let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. I spoke to Jeff Van Gundy and to Larry Johnson, and here is the reason that Johnson is starting. Johnson went to Van Gundy and told him that he is feeling much better and he'd like to give it a try. He doesn't know how long he can play or how effective he will be. And the reason that Van Gundy bought it was because Johnson had this exact same injury back on March 30th against the Pacers. He missed 1 game, didn't play for 5 days, had 5 days rest, and came back against the Pacers on April 4th and was very effective. He played 30 minutes off the bench and had 16 points. So Van Gundy feels that Johnson knows his body, and he needs him in there to guard David Robinson, and he hopes he's just as effective as he was in the first round against Alonzo Mourning. Van Gundy went on to say that he'll find out real early if, in fact, he can be effective, and he won't have to guess and wait. Bob?
Jim, thank you. Tremendous hand a moment ago for George Gervin, one of the great players in NBA history, one of the 50 greatest, but also one of the great players in ABA history. And the ceremonial first ball will be with a red, white, and blue ball. The Spurs are the first former ABA team to ever make it this far in pursuit of an NBA championship.
Bob, this is going to bring back a lot of great memories for you. You have a lot of ABA roots in St. Louis. This has to make you feel very good.
Baseline bones at the Old Hemisphere Arena. In a sense, it's a 26-year wait for both of these teams. The Spurs came to San Antonio from Dallas, where they were the Chaparrals in '73. The Knicks won their last NBA title in '73. Spurs ball at the outset. Right into Duncan against Dudley. And an illegal defense is going to be called right off the bat.
See what New York would like to do guarding start the game. See if they can play them straight up. They don't want to open up three-point shooting. But if they get some fouls, they're going to have to double team.
The officials are Hugh Evans, Steve Javi, and Bennett Salvatore. Duncan. Off the glass.
That's the completeness that we talked about, his ability to step out on the floor and make that little jump shot off the glass. That's his shot.
Ward around a Johnson screen. Now Houston against Ellie. Ties it at 2.
What great confidence Allen Houston is playing with, coming off a 32-point game in Game 6 against Indiana. That little medium-range jump shot's the one he's going to have to take.
Duncan had it knocked away, regains, and starts it over again with Avery Johnson. Robinson, nice pass to Ellie. The basket and 1. The foul is on Houston.
When you talk about David Robinson and Duncan, they can do it all. They can pass, and the great pass. Mario Ellie cuts to the basket. Allen Houston got caught peeking at David Robinson. The nice back cut against the vision and the three-point play.
The Knicks won Game 1 on the road in each of the 3 previous playoff series, at Miami, at Atlanta, at Indiana. This is a team that won only 8 road games during the regular season. They've won 6 away from home in the playoffs. Johnson finds Dudley. Robinson with a hand on it, but a foul.
That's where Dudley's going to have to be effective, Bob. He cannot shoot the ball from the outside. But as Larry Johnson drove to the middle, David Robinson came over to help. Dudley flashed right to the front of the rim. Now, the problem is he's a very poor free throw shooter.
You deal in understatement, my man. He is the worst career free throw shooter in the history of the NBA at 46%. He literally talks to himself at the line, muttering high and straight each time he steps up. But as you see over his career, he's nearly made Wilt Chamberlain look like Rick Barry. In the playoffs, he's at 40%. 1 of 2. Johnson looking for Robinson. Dudley broke it up. Out of bounds off the Knicks.
New York plays great weak side help, Bob. They're not a great shot blocking team without Camby. He changes the game, but they do a nice job of helping when you get cutters coming from that weak side.
Robinson guarded by Johnson. Dudley over for the block. Sprewell's first touch, first shot, off the back iron. Rebound Duncan. Robinson in traffic, and a whistle from Hugh Evans. Stay right here, he says. Foul is on Johnson, his first.
Larry Johnson is going to try to use his strength and muscle on David Robinson, and the reason Robinson's in the post is because they feel they have the matchup there size-wise, so they move Duncan out on the perimeter, and they're going in the post, and they'll do it once again here to try to get Larry Johnson another foul.
Here he goes, another whistle, and they got just what they came for. Number 2 on number 2.
This is the concern for Jeff Van Gundy going into this series. They cannot get in foul trouble. You go back to the matchup, Larry Johnson undersized, he's strong, but David Robinson just muscles into the lane and gets the foul.
And this is going to bring Kurt Thomas off the bench. So the big story at the start of the game was that Johnson could play. Barely 2 minutes in, the story is he has to sit.
Such a mismatch for the size, Bob. As they were being introduced, the starting lineup, I looked to you and I said, look how short the Knicks starting team is. So we'll see Camby soon, but they want to let Dudley play here a few minutes before they bring him in.
Ward, whose performance during the regular season and playoffs has been off from a year ago, gives it up to Sprewell. Poked away, and Duncan has it. Ellie trying to sprint ahead. Now he gives it to Sean Elliott. They almost had the break, but Ellie couldn't find the handle. Duncan. Elliott. Missed what would have been a 2. His toe was on the line. Here comes Sprewell. Most dangerous in the open court, but he loses it to Avery Johnson. And a New York foul.
You can see what New York wants to do. They want to push the tempo, but 2 quick turnovers by Sprewell. He has a tendency to get careless with the basketball. And that's what he did there. He picked up the foul, but it was good because Robinson was down at the other end. He would have had an easy dunk had he not taken that foul.
Spurs lead at 6-3. Robinson. The rebound to Thomas. Ward for 3. Can't tie it. Rebound chased down by Elliott. David Robinson given room by Dudley. Instead passes up the shot and goes inside to Mario Ellie. Spinning baseline and scoring.
They found the mismatch. Charlie Ward was caught on Ellie. Great patience that time. I really like the way San Antonio has started here, Bob. With all the time off, you expect them to come out and maybe be frenetic. They have been anything but that. Very poised.
Allen Houston. Kurt Thomas. Short with it. Dudley poked it away from Duncan. Houston's jumper is there.
Great screen that time by Dudley. Stepped over and freed Allen Houston. Allen off to a great start.
Robinson screening for Johnson. Now gets it back from him and hits the 15-footer.
Well, for the people who have not seen much of San Antonio, that's David Robinson's shot. He loves that little top of the circle. Duncan loves it on the angle where he can use that glass.
Here's Sprewell on the move. Gives it up to Thomas. Dudley on the offensive glass. Thomas again.
Shot blocking compresses. Thomas, Camby, Larry Johnson will have that little jump shot. They have to make that off the penetration from Sprewell and Houston.
After 5 minutes, Spurs by 3. Robinson. Contact as he cut through the lane. Could have been a three-point play. Instead, he'll come to the line for 2.
You feel the mismatch. You look inside. Great patience. Ellie takes it to the basket. High over the shot-blocking arm of Kurt Thomas for the score. And then David Robinson fading out and shooting that little jump shot. He makes this one, and it sets up his next play where he drives and gets fouled.
He has brought heart to every team he's played on, including 2 NBA champions in Houston. This year, his first in San Antonio, the Spurs got off to a slow start. And it was at that point that the veteran Ellie spoke up.
This is the first team I've been on where, I mean, after 9 games, I think I may have got 1 chest bump. You know, these guys are really not emotional guys. And in this league, you're going to have talent, but you need to have that fire. That's why I love Michael Jordan. I love Karl Malone. These guys are not just great players. They got passion and toughness. And that seems to be the problem with the Spurs.
Well, you see David Robinson, and really that's who Marioli was talking to. And, Bob, what I have seen from David Robinson as we've done these playoffs and gone on with this team, he is having fun playing basketball, more so than I've ever seen him have it before. And his love and passion is surfacing. You're seeing more animation from David Robinson.
And he's put his own game behind the team's interests. In the first 9 years of his career, he averaged 25 points a game. This year, just shy of 16 a game. But for the first time, his team is in the finals. Here's Sprewell. Goes to the left hand. And a San Antonio foul.
Bob, you can really see what New York is trying to do. They're trying to space the floor to give Sprewell and Allen Houston room to drive to the basket, to get those big guys out of there.
Houston off the inbound. His shot deflected, grabbed by Robinson, pegged ahead to Johnson, but Ward got back with him. Duncan turns and misses off the glass. Dudley is there to clear it. Sprewell using that quickness. High arcer, no good. Robinson pulls it down. Johnson's pass knocked away. Houston comes out of the pack with the steal. They run the break, and Ward finishes it.
That's when New York is at their best, forcing turnovers and running. A great job by Kurt Thomas fronting the post and knocking that entry pass away from Tim Duncan.
Knicks to within a basket. Duncan against Dudley. Back out to Ellie. 5 on the shot clock. Duncan had it knocked away, then forced it up, and Kurt Thomas comes away with it. Knicks looking to tie. It's Ward. Thomas to follow. And Robinson takes it. Avery Johnson all the way to the hoop, tripped up. And the foul will be on Ward.
Bob, my concerns right now, if I'm San Antonio, New York is doing a great job on the offensive board. Kurt Thomas has got a second shot. Chris Dudley's got a couple. Now, the one thing that is going to sustain San Antonio through this period of time, New York already in the penalty, so they're shooting free throws the rest of this quarter. They need to take advantage of that.
Avery Johnson shot 57% at the line this year, the worst of any guard in the NBA, but he upped it to 70% so far in the playoffs. Let's check with Jim Gray.
All right, thanks, Bob. I spoke to Jeff Van Gundy before the game. He was very concerned about his team being emotionally drained. He said they did not practice well the last couple of days. He said he spoke to him very forcefully before the game. He says it's not a death sentence that we didn't have any intensity in practice, but we must come out and turn it up quite a bit if we're going to compete for this championship. Bob?
Jim, thanks. How would you judge the New York intensity so far, Doug?
I think it's been very good. They're moving the basketball. Wide open shot here from Charlie Ward. You got to knock those down, but they're doing a good job here to start.
Ward got a great look at a 3 and couldn't hit it. Robinson had it poked away, and Dudley takes it. Here comes Sprewell. Duncan with it. Spree explodes to the basket and gets the roll.
See, that's what you got to do. You can't flip the ball at the basket. You got to go right at that shot blocker and make them commit. That time, Tim Duncan backed away.
Duncan with the reverse.
Just a matter of time if he's going to be single coverage down there to get his feel of what Dudley's doing against him. Then he'll counter and do just what he did there, get the basket.
Sprewell.
Wow, what a shot over Tim Duncan.
How about the quickness at first? Little ball fake, quick flash, then he pulls up, stops on a dime for the high arcer. Robinson inside, but missed it.
Dudley, a nice job there. That's his second block shot, and it leads to a quick, fast break from Houston. So right now, New York has to be very happy, Bob. They're doing a good job defensively. They're getting out and running. They're getting some second shots. Jeff Van Gundy has to be very happy right now.
Game tied at 15. Greg Popovich is not happy. He wants a timeout. 3:38 to play in the first.
The steal from Kurt Thomas, the knockaway, and Dudley throws the ball ahead, and Mr. Energy, the one-man fast break, Latrell Sprewell, takes it right at Duncan and gets the kind roll. And then Sprewell once again, look at this little medium-range shot. They're not going to let you get all the way to the basket. What a tough fadeaway over Duncan. And then Allen Houston again with that little pull-up. So the Knicks have the idea here. We might not be able to get all the way to the basket. We see the defense, we pull up, and we take what's given to us.
One of the 50 greatest players of all time on these two rosters will finally have his weight end and will receive a championship ring. If it's Ewing, it won't be as an active participant. David Robinson is on the team that's the overwhelming favorite to do it. Marcus Camby making his first appearance in the New York lineup after a little more than 8 minutes of the first quarter. Here's Duncan. surrounded by 3 defenders and a foul.
Remember in the open I talked about Marcus Camby has been playing terrific basketball. What he's done, this is a cheap foul, Bob. You cannot reach in. You got to stay big, get the hand up, and make him shoot out over an extended arm. So Marcus Camby comes right in and picks up a quick foul.
Jaren Jackson and Malik Rose are in for San Antonio. David Robinson and Sean Elliott are out.
When I talked to Jeff Van Gundy yesterday, one of the things he talked about was we got to keep San Antonio off the foul line. What it enables them to do when they shoot free throws, they can get their defense back and get set against us, and now we have to work hard to score, so we've got to limit their free throw attempts.
San Antonio leading 17-15, 7 of 9 from the line so far in the first quarter. Houston kicked it into the backcourt. Sprewell picks it up, but it's over and back. San Antonio ball.
The game plan on Allen Houston, take away any catch and shoot. Don't let him come off the screen, catch it, and go up and shoot it. Chase out of his shooting hand, make him put the ball on the floor to drive it inside. That time he forced a turnover.
Chris Childs now comes in. Ward out. Ward's minutes way down in the playoffs. Childs getting the bulk of the time.
Well, with Larry Johnson injured, this is New York's best team that they have on the floor right now. Childs and Camby off the bench.
Avery Johnson gives it up to Mario Elie. The set shot is way off on the attempted 3. Sprewell. Guarded by Jaren Jackson. Backing in on him. Finding Camby, who hits over Malik Rose.
See, with David Robinson out of the game now, Camby can go right over the top of Malik Rose. They've lost a shot blocker now, so New York can take that ball to the basket.
Jaren Jackson, big factor against the Lakers and the Trailblazers. Misses his first shot here, but Duncan takes it and gives them a fresh 24. Malik Rose can't knock it down. Up and over the glass. New York ball.
Latrell Sprewell orchestrates his whole play. He backs it out till he gets the double team. He tells Camby, cut to the basket. He sees Malik Rose. He said, I can go right over the top of him. And he scores. But Latrell Sprewell orchestrates this whole thing. He sees Duncan. The minute he comes, Camby cuts to the basket. No David Robinson. They get a layup.
And you're watching the NBA on NBC.
Fast break, right? You must get defensive stops, deflections, to fast break. New York 6-2 to start the game. This is when they're at their best. Early offense to beat the defense back down the floor. Charlie Ward, a much-needed layup for his confidence. Sprewell, the speed and quickness, the energy to finish. Allen Houston, the little pull-up jump shot. And when I talked to Greg Popovich, he said one of the things we must do is get back against their transition game. Game 1, they win plus 14. Game 3, plus 12. Game 5 and 6, they win 29-7. That's when they're at their best.
Steve Kerr in the game for the first time for San Antonio. He's on Chris Childs. Sprewell driving on Jaren Jackson, but he's rejected. Into the hands of Childs, though. He finds Thomas underneath, and Thomas is clobbered.
I think they're going to call a flagrant also. They took him down. Jaren Jackson and Rose went up, came down and hit him in the head, and normally any blow to the head, they'll call a flagrant. So you get up in the air, Kurt Thomas gets his man in the air, actually gets Jackson, Duncan, both in the air, and Jackson takes him down, and they're going to call the flagrant. That's 2 shots in possession. That's a flagrant 1.
Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, thanks, Bobby. The opener talked about the San Antonio Spurs having a long time out, trying to have the game-type scrimmages, trying to keep their conditioning. But obviously, with the way this game has started, it has not worked. You cannot play practice like it is a game. David Robinson, Sean Elliott, both really tired at this point, trying to get that second win. And it'll take some time because, Doug, as we talked earlier, you cannot really know what it is to have this crowd with this game-type action, try to get your breath back. So they'll recover, and they'll be back as the game continues.
Rust is not a problem for Allen Houston. He continues on the roll he was on when they finished off the Pacers.
His confidence level is higher than I've ever seen it before.
And, of course, you coached him at Detroit. Here's Malik Rose inside and scoring.
Well, they're going to need some energy from the bench. Get this crowd involved in the game. As Ahmad talked about, let the team get their second breath before they bring them back in.
Sprewell with Jackson on him. Spinning to the baseline and converting on the reverse.
Oh, Latrell Sprewell's off to a great start. That energy and quickness, Bob, you could never put a premium on what high-energy, talented guys bring to your team.
Houston up on Mario Ellie. Slips past him, finds Jaren Jackson alone. He misses the 3. It's taken by Childs. He pulls up and fires. It's short. It falls right into the hands of Kurt Thomas for a gift basket.
Looked like Malik Rose tried to flop a little bit there to get the foul. The referee had no part of that, and New York up 6 now, 30 seconds to go in the quarter.
Ellie the lob to Duncan. Between 2 defenders, he puts it in.
How about the catch? How about the catch and the ability to come down as that big guy and lay the ball in the basket?
Knicks looking for the quarter's last shot and leading by 4. Houston driving on Ellie, spinning, shooting, and hitting again. Man, if you touched him, you'd singe your fingers. He's that hot. Last 2 seconds. It'll be Jackson from half court. Just missed it. Well, the Knicks didn't come here as foils. They came as foes. Up by 6 after 1 at the Alamo Dome, and you're watching the NBA on NBC.